Space is the area around, inside, or between shapes or forms, or the way you use up your art space. And it is one of the elements of art, which is the building blocks of art. One way to talk about space is talking about positive and negative space. Positive space is the space where something is happening in the drawing. So if this is my picture, then the black part is colored in, that is the positive space. The white parts are left blank, and that is the negative space. Positive and negative space can be used in your artwork to create visual interest by having positive space over here taken up by the paper and nothing in the background here. You can really see the border between those two areas, and it makes the side view of a person. Another way we can talk about space is creating the illusion of depth. That means that if you look at the picture, it looks like you can almost reach in or walk into the artwork. There are 6 ways to create the illusion of depth. One is overlapping. Overlapping is when something is drawn or pictured in front of another thing, making it look like it's closer to you. So these are in the front, and this one here is covered up, it's in the middle, and the back ones are covered up even more. Scale is another way to show depth. Things that are closer to you are going to look bigger. Things that are further away are going to look smaller. So by drawing things closer bigger, and by drawing things further away smaller, you can create the illusion of depth, and that is using scale. Another way to show depth is placement. That's where you draw your things. Whatever we draw on the bottom of the page is going to look like it's closer to us. And it looks like it's going further away as it goes up the page closer to the horizon line. Another way to show depth is by adding details. If you draw things closer with a lot of details and less details in the background, the parts that have a lot of detail are going to look like they're closer to you. Another way to add depth is by adding color and value. Things that are closer to you are usually going to look darker, and things that are further away from us are going to look lighter. That is called atmospheric perspective, and we see things less clear as it gets further away from us. Another way to show depth is by using linear perspective. Perspective is the way your eyes actually see things. So if you look at this walking path, that width of the path is actually probably going to stay the same for the whole path. But when we look at a path, it's going to look like the back of the path is getting smaller and smaller. This is a little bit of an advanced idea, and you guys will be learning more about this in 5th and 6th grade. Another way to add depth in your artwork is by having layers. If you have a foreground, things in the front, middle ground, things in between, and a background, things way back, then it looks like the foreground's closer, middle ground in the middle, background is further away. So by having layers, it'll give you some more depth. It looks like you can walk into that photograph.